And welcome to the show. My name is Naeem Sharif, and today our special guest is Brother Benjamin Shabazz. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So let's open up with a short dua, a short prayer.
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. We seek refuge with Allah from the rejected enemy, Satan the devil, with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All the praises belong to Allah, Lord of all systems of knowledge, the most gracious, the most merciful, master of the dear religion. Ameen.
Amen. So, all of the systems of knowledge, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, break that down.
Yeah, that's interesting. They say they like to see master of the day of judgment, and the wording is Maliki Yawmiddin, which is master of the day of judgment. But all systems of knowledge is kind of escaped me because I just said it now.
Okay.
But it's Alameen, and it's talking about all the worlds. That's how in English sometimes it's translated.
All the worlds, right.
Yeah, of all the worlds. And so how Imam Wafdi Muhammad broke it down is talking about masters of all systems of knowledge, because there are different worlds of knowledge. You know, there's your academic world, all of the sciences, you know, are in that.
Right.
You know, and some people dedicate their lives to those things. Then you might have your entertainment world, your sports world, but that's a world within itself.
Gotcha.
And then there's transportation, that's a world, you know, travel, and all these different things. So there are all these different worlds that kind of self-contain themselves, but they contribute to the whole. So in this prayer, in that language, that Allah is telling us that He is the master of all of those systems of knowledge.
Okay.
There's nothing outside of His mastery that exists. Yeah.
Now that makes it plain.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, that makes it plain.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, that makes it plain. All right, I almost hate to go into this subject. That's a subject into itself. So let's just get started. We're going to do a summer movie review for 2019. Do you want me to start, or you want to start?
Yeah, why don't you kick it off?
Okay, so I've seen a few movies. I did see Spider-Man, Far From Home. Saw that last week. Forgot about that. Saw that. It was okay. You know, Spider-Man is trying to adjust, you know, to things that happened in, I guess, the last Avengers movie and so forth and so on. So I won't go into that. But they're in London, so he's far from home, so he has to deal with stuff. Normal teenage stuff. Then plus being a superhero, you know, complexes the problems that he has to go through. And I would just kind of leave it at that. I thought the movie was okay. Some people I talked to, they really liked it. I thought it was, you know, okay. You know, it was okay. The movie I want to talk about.
Well, wait a minute. So, is there any socially redeeming value in the movie?
You know, quote, good versus evil, as always. You know, that's always, you know, usually redeemable. He has a good heart. You know. And I think, you know, that's about it. It had a lot of action in it. And like I said, he has a good heart towards his friend and his friend and his friends. And that's about it, you know, for me. But I said, other people I talked to, they really liked it, you know. So, you know, everybody has different tastes. I thought it was okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. The next movie I want to talk about, and just real briefly, 'cause I don't know if it's still out, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. It's one of those films that You know, really good films, films with some real good content and quality, they don't last long, you know, because everybody's into the action and everything, which I like action films too, you know, to be sure. I don't know if it'd still be out, but I would, you know, however way that you can see it, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I don't want to say too much because it was just, you know, a lot of layers, and a lot of things were presented in this movie. Some things were outright, and some things were subtle, but a very, very good, well acted. The cinematography, you know, the photos in it, you know, there's the whole cinema action in it was just the way they did it was really well done. So I would say definitely go see it. Socially, what's your question about social what?
Social justice.
Social justice, yeah, social justice is in it. Yeah, I would say go see it. I'm just trying to remember, is it for kids? Maybe because not of some of the language, but you know, a teenager could, you know, someone who's like, you know, 16 and up could see it, you know, maybe even 15. But it was, I need to go see it again. It was good, yeah.
Is that good?
It was that good, yes indeed,
Okay.
yes indeed. Another movie that I just saw, Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am. And it's one of those movies that a lot of good content, history's in it, her writing, because she's a writer, her life, and the way they put it together was really good. And there's people that come into her life that they show in this. So it really gives me, you know, I knew she was an outstanding writer, so I'm gonna have to start reading her books. Some of her books are tough to read because they deal with social justice. They deal with humanity. They deal with very tough things in human life. So it's kind of hard to, you know, to get through the book, some of her books because of things that she deals with. But it's called The Pieces I Am. However, you're able to see it when it, you know, it's come out, but it won't be out long. So, you know, get it, see it, and I think you'll say, yeah, this woman has gone through a lot and has done a lot. Yeah. So those are some of the two. Those are my top two: The Last Man in San Francisco and The Pieces I Am. And you know, in the Seattle area, you know, when you go to these things that are, quote, deal with African American people, there's usually more white people than black, just because Seattle, that's the way Seattle is. But I would suggest to our people to come out more to see these movies because they, you know, they're not about foolishness, they're about something serious.
Yeah, and the Caucasian community wants to know what's going on with us.
Yeah.
Especially when it's something serious.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
a lot of them didn't see Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends where you went, you know, what movie theater you went. If you went to the IMAX, yeah.
But they went to see this one.
They went to see this one. Yeah, they were there. Yeah, because it was, you know, it was serious, and I think they knew from the beginning it would be serious. It wouldn't be a bunch, you know, foolishness and everything, so forth. But I will say about Black Panther, it was good in that I think it reignited something in our psyche, which was good. You know how Rome, you know, came into being. You know, it came into being. You know, they had a mythology. You know, and that helped their psyche. You know, the Greeks had a mythology. You know, helped their psyche. The Nation of Islam has a mythology to help our psyche. And I think the Black Panther movie had something to help our psyche. You know, to move forward.
Yeah. Well, most societies have a mythology.
Exactly.
And like you say, it helps stabilize the positiveness in our beginnings because nobody kind of really knows.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
so people come up with a mythology, you know. I was thinking about the Japanese mythology. You know, they say that their emperor came from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God manifested in an emperor. I mean, so that's not a new thing.
It's not a new story.
It's not a new story.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember Hitler. You know, he was saying that he was the second coming of Jesus,
Mm.
and the reason why they hated Jews because they killed Jesus. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
It's
like
crazy stuff. Yeah.
weird stuff. You
Yeah.
know, but it works
Mm-hmm.
because once the people are up and emotionally upbeat, you can almost tell them anything. You know,
Right.
hey,
Right.
that man over there, he talked about your mom when you was a kid. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, man. So mythology, for the social scientists, mythology is very important
Mm.
to form your own mythology. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right.
Because if you ever deal with the truth, that snuffs all that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have a similar origin.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, so let's talk about some other movies. What do you want to start with?
Okay, I seen Shaft.
Okay.
I think it's Shaft 3. And I know you're not gonna let me tell it all. So
Yeah, don't tell it all.
So just to make it simple, that it was a waste of time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was entertaining.
Mm.
And for any socially redeeming qualities,
Mm-hmm.
it had none.
Yeah, none.
Absolutely none.
None.
And so it's almost, they could have made it a cartoon
Mm.
and put it on Saturday morning.
Well, you know, when you see a trailer of a movie and that doesn't, you know, kind of catch you or really inspire you to go, then that was one reason why I didn't go. I saw the trailer, I said, no, man, this ain't going to be about nothing.
Well, for me, because of the state of affairs of particularly African American people
Mm-hmm.
in this society, and with rap music,
Mm-hmm.
and with the damage that has been done to our identity, that's why I say the movie was a waste of time.
Mm.
You know, because it didn't tell any stories to implant, infuse in our thinking, in our brain power. It didn't tell any stories that was going to be uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
The stories it told continue to keep us in the trap.
Mm.
So, but like, it's entertaining.
Entertaining.
You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't work 50, 60 hours a week or something, and you want to just go be by yourself, don't want to be bothered with nobody, and you want to laugh or whatever,
Yeah.
go get you some popcorn and go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't expect to learn anything.
Gotcha.
And don't expect to leave out of there with, oh, wow, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it'll put you to sleep
Mm.
because of the lack of progressive movement.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
what's next?
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Okay.
With what's the boy's name?
Now you know the man's name, Will Smith.
Will Smith. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me go back to Shaft.
Okay, back to Shaft.
They had Samuel L. Jackson,
Right.
and they had, who was the original?
Richard
Roundtree.
Roundtree, yeah.
He was in the movie.
Yeah. You know, on that point, it's Richard Roundtree, you know, when Shaft first came out, you know, that was, you know, the black detective and everything. The thing is, it's so hard for quality black actors to get acting roles. It's so hard. You know, you see these different African-American actors and you know they can act, they don't get that many parts. Then you see all this stuff on TV that these people making all kind of money and they're just being silly. You know, I'm not going to name any program, but they're just being silly. They getting these acting jobs, making all this money, but the serious, that wants to be serious African-American actor can hardly get any parts, you know.
And Samuel L. Jackson's son was part of the movie, not his real son.
Okay.
But his son, he played in the movie, and I can't remember his name, but it was some entertainer, some singer.
Okay.
And so, well, that's enough right there.
Okay.
Yeah. But Aladdin, this is back to Aladdin
Okay.
with Will Smith. Aladdin, to me, was kind of like what was that movie that it was Dorothy going back to Kansas City or something? What was that? In the Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, the Oz?
The Oz. Yeah,
Okay.
you remember the Oz, right?
Yeah.
How it had all the fantastic
Mm-hmm.
directing and artwork,
Right.
and the songs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Aladdin was like that.
Okay.
You know, with all of the songs and the musical part and people dancing, just walking down the street and everybody break out dancing, you know,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So I can tell that it was a mega funded picture,
Mm.
you know, because they had some elaborate acts, man.
Mm.
So I know there was a lot of money put in this
Okay.
in this movie, and then Will Smith is type 1 grade A actor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so he's not really gonna play in anything that's what you call it mediocre,
Low budget.
low budget,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and so you know he's a calling card. I mean, who's in this movie? Will Smith. I'm gonna see it. What's it about? I don't care. I'm gonna see it.
See it, yeah.
But again, the socially redeeming message, there was none.
Mm.
You know, the typical good against evil thing. I mean, that's always going to be there.
Right.
But for, I would say, conscious people or woke people, or even semi-woke people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was disastrous. It was terrible.
Mm.
It was just terrible, man. So, and again, no entertainment. See, but here's the trick to this whole thing. You go, or we go as adults,
Mm-hmm.
and we say, it was entertainment, you know,
Yeah.
eat me some popcorn and maybe take my date there or my family, you know, something like that.
Right.
But the harm in this is that if you take your family
Mm-hmm.
or your young people, you know, there was so many laden undercurrent messages that were destructive
Mm.
in the movie.
So give us one.
Well, he was a genie, right?
Okay.
And he had an opportunity to come out to be free of being a genie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he had hooked up with this white girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now everybody was in the movie, all races.
Right.
You know, and he hooked up with the white girl, and one of his things was, you know, if he could be freed, he was gonna hook up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows you their kids and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got little brown babies and everything. You know, which, well, who could say anything about that? You know, but it's the simple fact that,
Yeah.
you know, that was his preference
Mm-hmm.
after being locked up for like 100,000 years. He wanted the white girl, you know.
Okay.
So see, those things, you can't really say there's anything wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, like I say, if you woke,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why couldn't he have chosen somebody of his own race?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That would have been more healthier,
Mm-hmm.
especially for young people.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing. The other thing was there were some scenes in there where he didn't look too masculine.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't want to expound on that too much.
Okay.
But it was like, whoa, what's going on here? You know?
Wow.
What the hell's going on, man?
Okay. So we got about, let's see, 8 minutes, about 8 minutes or so. What else you got?
John Wick 3,
Okay.
Godzilla, and On the Brink.
Okay. Let's get into them.
John Wick 3, I mean, I'm a fan of John Wick. I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Because how can you not be a fan of Keanu Reeves? You know, The Day the Earth Stood Still,
Matrix.
the modern, and Matrix, man, come on, man.
Okay.
They put him in John Wick 1, okay, he's a bad dude, right? John Wick 2, okay, he's still a bad dude, you know? John Wick 3, they just took it over the top.
Okay.
I mean, he was fighting people from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie.
Mm.
Then they throw in there some spice for you,
Uh-huh.
like what's the brother's name that played in Cornbread Earl and Me? He played in Predators 2. Larry Fishburne.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they threw him in there.
Okay.
Now, if you're looking at the billboard,
Mm-hmm.
You know, Larry Fishburne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is gonna be an interesting movie,
Mm-hmm.
and a few other people they just threw in there.
Through in there,
See?
yeah.
But they turned the man into a video game. This movie is gonna be a video game.
Okay.
Because you know how you in a video game you load up and they got a thing over here where you got your ammunition and you can just click
right.
and you go from one battle to another, you know, and then you kill everybody in that scene and then you go outside, there's all these
There's
other
some
aliens
more,
coming
the whole-
in, you
yeah,
gotta click
yeah.
click and you keep on shooting.
Yeah.
Then when you finish that up, you know, the ground opens up and you're down in this cavern, you know, and you get click click and there's some more monsters, you know. It was
Gotcha.
just ongoing. He was being attacked ongoingly.
Forever. Yeah, just on and on.
He never got a chance to sit down and drink a cup of coffee.
Oh, man.
It was stupid,
Mm.
you know, and throughout the whole thing, he kept on his suit coat.
And it was immaculate the whole time.
You know, and I'm thinking, what is this like them old westerns, man, where they be fighting and the hat never comes
Never
off.
comes up, yeah, yeah.
I said, this don't make no sense. He was running one time, you know, never did he chance to take off his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And he might have had his tie on too. I forget if he had his tie on the whole time. It was yeah, they cheapened it. They cheapened him. They cheapened the movie
Okay.
by making it. But now if you in the action,
Mm-hmm.
you know, ongoing 24/7 action
So
from the beginning to the end.
So you got that adrenaline flowing the whole time.
Yeah, you know, but it made no sense.
Okay.
Because in 1 and 2 they developed his character as a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one he was just a machine.
Just a machine. Okay, so let's go. Let's do Godzilla real quick.
Godzilla was another disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Purely entertainment. Purely entertainment.
A disaster movie on disaster.
Disaster movie on disaster.
Okay.
It really is basically for kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they had to put variations in it because how many Godzilla movies have they made? One,
Oh,
two,
yeah.
16.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
And so I went with my grandkids and a couple of my kids, and you know, I was not impressed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's because it's early summer, pre-summer, they're putting out these movies.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe did big in Europe or somewhere, but they're getting them out of the way,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have more movies of substance coming on later on this summer,
Mm-hmm.
which at least I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Godzilla. The Secret Life of Pets 2.
Yeah, I was drug into that one with my grandkids. I didn't want to see that stupid ass stuff, man. But I mean, what I'm saying, the reason why I say it like that, because as an adult, you know what I'm saying. What Secret Life of Pets 2? What? How's that gonna benefit me, right? I just went for the grandkids' sake, and it was, and it was it was animated,
Yeah.
and it was, you know, they have little morals in the story about how you treat other people, and about friendship, and so forth and so on. So it was. So if you want to take your grandkids to a nice little movie, you know, get some popcorn and some pop or whatever, and you enjoy it, and they'll love it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll love it. But it's like a movie for babysitters. You know, take your kid to the you're babysitting your kids, take them out to the movie.
Wow. Okay, so let's see. We got that. Then let's see. On the Brink.
On the Brink was an excellent movie. It was a documentary
And where did they show that at?
at the African American Museum.
So the Northwest African American Museum.
Yes, thank
okay.
you for saying Northwest, yeah. And so it was a movie about the gentrification of the Central District in Seattle, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a lot of local people in there talking about what was going on. And basically it was about how this was happening to us right before our eyes, but it was done in stages.
Okay.
So we wouldn't get alarmed at the first stage. We wouldn't get alarmed at the second stage.
Yeah.
We might open our eyes and take a second look at the third stage, but by the time it reached the fourth stage, it's just like a windstorm. Just wiped everything out.
Wow.
And it kind of broke it down like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to show you how these people had planned this thing long time ago.
Mm.
You know, when they put in the rail, the light rail.
Light rail.
It was
yeah.
planning then.
Planning then.
You know, it was planning then. And now you see where if you're driving down the street and you see a little space or an alley between two houses, you come back there tomorrow, they done erected a 6-story apartment building.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the whole thing was about how African American people were being affected by this. Some of the tricks they used to get the older people that had these homes for years, 20, 30, 40 years, to trick them out of their house. And then one brother he came up and he was saying how he had been, his house was inherited to him through his family.
Right.
And he said everything was okay, until, because he wasn't paying no mortgage, it was, but then property taxes shot up. Yeah, and it's just almost impossible to stay there.
Yeah, the property taxes are so high, if you're not making an outstanding income, you can't afford to live. You can't afford to live there. Even if your house is paid off, the property taxes, and they go up and up every year, and they always have something for the property owners, new to pay on to or renew something. And it's like, man, there's only so much you can do. And I really feel bad for the generation that's coming up, especially live in this area. It's like, how are they going to afford a house? Some, if they're working high tech and getting good pay, they can. So, that's really an issue. So,
but on the brink, look out for it.
Look out for it.
Because I think they said it's going to move from the Northwest African American Museum to the Neptune in the U
Oh
district.
yeah, I think was it October or November, something like that. Yeah.
But it's well worth seeing.
Yeah, I remember they saying they was going to do that. So yeah, we'll definitely have, like I said, the stuff that's happening in the Central area and in Seattle as far as housing, it's they just want a certain class of people to live in Seattle now. And if you don't have the money or if you haven't inherited a home, you're in trouble. Well, with that, thank you very much, Brother Benjamin.
Thank you.
Thanks to the audience for watching. There's a book called The Last Earth, A Palestinian Story by Ramsey. How do you pronounce his last name? Baroud. Check that out. Then there's a book by Andrew Hidalgo, The Sixth Man. Check that out. So we will start doing book reviews also. Thank you very much for watching. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.